Good afternoon, Nova Scotia.
How you doing?
Very well, Paul. How are you?
Good. I got to ask, that intro you put on there is that seen by the public?
It is, yeah.
Are we talking about whiskey or monster trucks? I'm confused.
No, listen. I just thought it's nice and dramatic, and it might capture some folks' attention that something really exciting is about to happen. Not a couple of old farts drinking whiskey, you know.
I'm thinking that old yet, but yeah, that's a little bit of scuff into it, doesn't it? How you making out? What's going on over there today? What's up in Glasgow?
Good. Well, we've had kind of mixed weather over here. It's actually been a bit of a heat wave in the last week or so. It's turned a bit now, but it's still very humid. So of course that's made all the PPE and AGP procedures all the harder again just for the last week or so. Normally we love the hot weather, but it's not been fun.
Yeah, we had started the cooling here after we had a pretty good heat wave, and yeah, with all the PPE and stuff, it's just uncomfortable by the time 3 o'clock in the afternoon hits. So I'm kind of glad that the temperature's starting to change. Not so much for outside on the weekends, but certainly at the office.
Definitely, yeah. So are you guys? I'm going to pour here while we're chatting. Are you guys doing full procedures again? Are you back to everything just with fallow times? Are you still on that?
No, we never had a lot of fallow time. We when we got back to work, we had two committees from our provincial association and the Department of Health, and they found that what we were doing at the time didn't really require fallow times based on what we're using for information. So, but that being said, we're still running about 70% of what our daily schedule was because of the additional sterilization procedures, turnover in the clinic, and of course, all the gownage and the masks and the shields, and all the extra stuff. So, we're back to full procedures. We're back to doing everything we had to do. We're just doing it certainly slower, and unfortunately, what it's done is it's reduced the amount of people we can see. So our wait times are 5-9 months, depending on what you've done. It's just crazy. We need more dentists down. Hey, what are you doing? You want to come work in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia?
Well, that sounds good. Why not? Yeah. As long as it's cooler than it's been here, that's fine.
It's pretty good. What are you doing tonight?
Well, I followed your lead. I was gonna go over something else, but then when I heard what you were having, I thought let's just stay on the same island. So, have you got your bottle there?
Yeah, I was running by and just picked something up along the way, and I just decided to crack open some more Jura Prophecy tonight, which is smoky, fruity. It's I really like it. It's got a little bit of everything. It's an easy sipper, and you've got some great notes of vanilla and red fruit, some Christmas spice. And the peat is just par on, where you've got that nice smoky aroma without no medicine that's kicking everything else out. It's a good solid dram, and I don't think we can get it here anymore. I don't think it's on the DC at the bottle shop.
Okay, now because Jura, they don't do a lot of peated malts, do they? There's not a wide range of peated with the Jura.
They've got a couple, and this is just speaking from what we can get over here and what I've had while I've been abroad. That it's when you think Jura, you don't think heavy peat for sure. When I do think Jura, I do think some light peated expressions. But overall, I mean, you're not looking at Talisker or Lefroy for sure.
No. Yeah. Well, this one here, this is the red wine cask edition. Now, one of the things I like about Jura is it's a pretty reliable malt, and you'll find it in a very affordable range as well. So for anybody watching who is fairly new to whiskey, you don't really go wrong with a Jura at a low price. It's a really, really great distillery for the money.
100%. Yeah, we were introduced to it by Richard Patterson.
Okay.
If you know the name, then you usually tie him to Dalmore, but he's White Mackay's master blender for Christ knows how long. So when we had the Jura come in, it's like, you know what? This is almost on par with what you're going to get for a Dalmore, trade off for standard releases, but you're getting it at a bit of a better price. And I would argue that now prices are going up a little bit, obviously, like everything else. But I would put a Jura against, a standard 10 or 12 Dalmore, and I think it would do quite well.
Yeah. But look at this. This is I don't know if you can quite capture that on the camera, but it's a really kind of crimsony, goldy kind of color. I mean, you can tell if you poured that in a glass and you knew nothing else about what this was, you would know it's been finished in something. You wouldn't get a whiskey being that color. There's almost a kind of tangerine kind of color to it.
Yeah.
And on the nose, did you ever have? I'm going to say sweets, but to you it's candy. Did you ever have the candy called fruit salad?
No.
Yeah. And it's basically one of these candies that you put in your mouth, and your mouth just waters because it's like full of E numbers, basically. But it's quite citrusy and fruity.
Mm-hmm.
Some blueberry as well there, but really fruity is what I'm getting from that.
What did they say? What type of wine cask is used? Or
it just said European wine, but I'm not sure. Let's see if it actually tells us more information than that. But I can't see anything else. It just says European wine, which is very very vague. European wine cask. Yeah. Well, obviously it's red. It says it's red wine on the thing. So, yeah, I'm not sure what country that will be from though.
You know what? It's wine cask finishes. If you take fortified wine out of the mix, it's kind of a mixed bag, because I've had some very good wine cask finishes and some that are not so great.
Same.
Regency is formed without the fullness of flavor that you might be looking for. Especially when you look at port wine and sherry finishes that we've been using since the 70s. In terms of finishes, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a couple that were good and a couple that were like, no, you're trying to do something with the spirit that's not going to do it. But I can almost guarantee you that I would enjoy that. Never been to the island?
I have not, but I don't think it's too difficult to get there. I think it's somewhere I'd like to go.
Yeah, it'd be great.
I think they've just got the one distillery, and obviously I've just read in the back of this it said they also have one pub. So
I wonder if they have a golf course.
Oh, they definitely will. Yeah. So that, I don't know if it's just because I now said tangerine for the color, but I'm getting kind of tangerine from this as well. But definitely notes of coffee as well there. And it's fairly sweet as well, and it's kind of honey sweet. And on the finish, there's just that little bit of spark, a little bit of spice on the finish, but it's very delicate. It's not harsh at all.
Nice.
I think it's only, what did I see? It's 40%. So I might try a little drop of water in it, but I wouldn't want to change it too much from how it is. I don't think I would be happy drinking that neat, definitely.
So what
ginger. Yeah, the spice is ginger. I was trying to place it, but it's ginger.
So if you look at the prophecy, which is I drew some parallels to Dalmore and Jura, but what I respect about this one is that it's bottled at 46%.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be at that point where I'd be very curious to know if it has been chill filtered, because at 46% you normally don't see that. Mm-hmm. And what kind of color would be used. And once again, I don't think they use that much. So in terms of an honest dram, I think it's probably close to one of the more honest ones. And I do like 46%, 43 or 46% alcohols over the 40%.
Yeah.
And after a while of drinking spirits, straight on high strength spirits, you do kind of build up a bit of more tolerance to the ethanol, but you actually reward yourself with a little more mouthfulness, depending on the age and the overall ABV of the spirit, and so you get that nice smoke there, and you get you know, almost like a war cake. Certainly some vanilla, and certainly follows through on the palate. And one thing I've been trying to teach and emphasize more in the tastings lately is not just the flavors, not just the aroma or the taste, but also, you know, what do you feel, right? Is it a mouthfulness, right? Is it viscous? Because all those things, we get kind of hung up sometimes on how something smells, on how something tastes. You know, and we try to disseminate where it came from, whether it's from the cask or from the cereal, what's from the fermentation. But there's so many other layers of enjoying a dram, a whiskey, or any other spirit, right? And you know, how does it feel? Is it there? Does it want to stay there a little bit longer, right? Is it a, you know, is there lots of vanilla and there's just a sharp flavor in the back of your throat, or does it feel like a warm, fuzzy Christmas cake blanket in your mouth, right? And that's what I get off that Jura, which is really nice. It's certainly more well-rounded than you know I thought it was when I took it off the shelf, because I think that would have been $75 or $80 Canadian. So do the math. It wasn't overly expensive, right? Now it is non-age statement. It is non-age statement. At one point, I don't know if the prophecy was an age statement or not, but it certainly doesn't taste young. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, most of the age statement Juras you would see, I think, are 10. I don't think you don't see them in general sale much over that.
No.
Certainly, this is non-age statement, but I think you can buy this in most supermarket type shops in the UK for it's about £28. You know, which is a phenomenal price for it. It's about 30 quid. You know, it's fine.
Have you seen the prices of spirits go up over the last 2 years in Scotland?
I don't think so, but it depends kind of where you're buying and what you're buying. You know, so obviously it's hard to judge, because if I'm buying something from a distillery, you've got no real price comparison on that, because it is whatever it is, you know, that you're buying. And if you're buying a supermarket cheap daily dram, I usually wait till there's a deal on, and I'll think that one's now under £30. That's worth a punt. You know?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Why are you seeing differences?
Yeah. We've seen. What I've seen is always like a sliding scale of increase in price. You start getting to the core ranges, and they're kind of gone up a little bit, and they're going a little bit higher than the consumer price index. And you kind of figure that because whiskey is still on that hard rush for popularity. But the older and more exclusive malts are actually climbing even higher and faster.
Okay.
And which is a little unfortunate, because what it's starting to do is it's starting to push some of these great whiskeys out of the hands of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Once again, we're talking about a product that you don't need to live, but it's sure fun living with.
That's true. Yeah, I had a couple of recent buys I'll show you just out of interest. This I think I sampled this one last week when Jeremy was on. I don't know if you've had this before.
I have not.
Yeah. This I'm not that keen on the packaging. Master of Distilling, it looks a little bit odd.
He must be doing a spot on James Bond there. He has.
Oh no, yes, that's it. Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. But it's a 12-year-old, as you can see down here. It is what percentage was it? It's it is cask strength. I think it's 53. It's actually quite a nice box to open, so it opens up quite nicely.
Look at that.
Which is quite pretty. 51.8%. To sherry casks from Jerez, 12 years old. There's 2006 casks. There are 12,000 bottles. Beautiful looking bottle.
Yes.
Lovely color. How much do you reckon for that?
Oh,
and it's beautiful. I know you're a fan of the 14.
I'm a fan of Aaron. Period. I love Aaron.
This is sublime. It's kind of like a boosted 14-year-old, because it's obviously a bit heavier, but it's got a similar kind of profile to it with a bit more kick.
What's that, about 90 quid?
50.
Oh, gee, that's cheap.
Yeah.
that's a great price point. Holy smokes.
That's why I've got a couple of them. But I'm now worried because obviously the more I talk about it online, I'm worried they'll sell out. And there's only 12,000 bottles, and I don't want anyone to buy it.
You know what? You wonder, it shouldn't be a bit of a grassroots movement, eh? When everybody likes something, let's just tear it down and say it's garbage, right? And then put it up in the bargain bin.
Yeah, no, that sucks. Yeah, it's awful.
Have you been to Erin lately?
I have actually. I was there in the summer. That's when I got these, and I also got. Let me show you. I also got one of the Explorer series.
Ooh, those are hard to get.
They are. Yeah, they are. So I've not opened this. I don't know if and when I will. This is the 21-year-old Kildonan and Plata.
We can crack that open when I get there next year.
So. Again, not a bad price, though. I think I got that in the distillery. I got it for, I think, about 130, 140 quid, which for a 21-year-old malt isn't bad. It's not bad. And the other one that I know you'll definitely be jealous of.
Ah, come on. Yeah.
Harmony 4.
Oh man, I tell you. I've had one Harmony, I think, and it was delicious. I had it in I think I had a Bonaccord, I think, or one or two. Yeah. Did you get down to Lag?
I did. And I did the tour, and it was fantastic.
Oh, fantastic! So they were probably showcasing the Mockery more because they wouldn't have anything like on the shelves yet from Lag, would they?
That's right. Yeah, they're selling quite a lot of the new make. So there's loads of little bottles of the new make. I have some somewhere. In fact, there it is there. I'll grab that. And as you can see, I've enjoyed it a little bit too much. I've only got a tiny splash left. But I think they're selling that little bottle. It's 200 mLs, 63.5, and they're selling that for about 16, 17 pounds.
Yep. Which
actually is not bad.
That's great. It's great.
And it's very nice on its own, but it's also great for a cocktail.
No, well, you know what? It's when I do consultations for companies, whether it's for whiskey, gins, or whatever, I always ask the company or suggest the company send me some new make spirit, because it's typically the companies we're working for a bit, what you're going to get for the new make is going to be relatively consistent over time, and it's great to see how that spirit expresses itself, and then what has happened afterwards. It's great to have that parallel, and I love that companies now you can actually buy their new make spirit to have that experience.
Yeah, indeed. So they were selling lots of Machrie Moor, and also is it Finnegan's? Oh, what's it called? Finnegan's something.
Yeah.
They had quite a few of those. But actually, I mean, when you come over, we've got to go over. The Lag Distillery is. It's got a lot of sense of tradition. It talks about the south of Arran being the place for a distillery centuries ago and all this kind of stuff. But it's a phenomenal use of the space. You're in the main distilling room, and it's all glass panels at the back with Ailsa Craig sat in the sea. The little granite island off the south. It's just phenomenal. Man. It's beautiful. I
haven't been to Scotland in 2 years, and you know what, my bones are feeling it. I can't wait to get my arse back there.
Well, we'll have a talk, because we're thinking of, obviously we need to work out when we're going to bottle up our Glasgow distillery company casks.
Yes, so we have 3 casks at the Glasgow distillery that we have to check and see if it's ready to go or not.
Indeed, and we're also thinking, when we were 2 years ago, we were going to have a dentistry whiskey conference.
Yeah.
So I'll chat to you about dates and things, because I want to get that going again.
Yeah, we definitely have to do that.
That'll be very good. But yes, the Lag Distillery is fantastic. And here's the kicker, right? When we were there, I met the distillery manager, a chap called Graham Omond. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I do quite a bit of my family tree research, and I happen to know that Omond was in my family line. Mm-hmm. So Graham came out and met me, and I said, I've got Omonds in my family tree, and he says, oh, my dad's been doing mine. So he opened up his family tree, and I opened up mine, and I was quickly able to discern that the manager at Lag Distillery is my 5th cousin. I was hoping he was going to crack open some of the expensive stuff. That's, but we maybe need to be closer family than that. I don't know.
I respect like a lot of Scottish people I know are very much in tune with their genealogy, and I respect that because along with the history, it's great to see where the family lines run. But I one of these days, I know that on my father's side, that my grandmother and grandfather are both of Scottish heritage that came over, I think, in the late 1800s. But I've never done the exactly where from, because ones were the family Black, and one was family McLaughlin. So I've got to go back and see exactly where that is. Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to use it in a trip over there and see if I get myself another taste of something at a tasting bar. But it would be interesting to see exactly where those lines went, 200 years ago.
Oh, definitely, yeah, absolutely. There's lots of stuff you can do now with DNA sampling and stuff, and it tracks down family members that have done it, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if they do my DNA, they're just going to kill it with bleach and throw it in the garbage. I'm no part of that.
So there you go. I was quite pleased with that. That was a good find. And it's funny because my dad had always said, because I kept digging up things in the family tree. I found this connection, found this. He's like, when are you going to find somebody that owns a distillery? Well, I've got close. That's not bad.
Not bad at all.
I actually found out that my 8 times grandfather was Rob Roy McGregor.
Oh, no way! Wow.
There you go. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
That is very cool. I'm just gonna get that on a dish or on a background or something, on a T-shirt.
So what else are you up to today? What are you doing?
Today we have some company coming over. I just built an outdoor bar to deal with summers around here. So I bought a frozen concoction maker, which is a fancy word for a really fancy blender. And I do believe that the company comes this afternoon will like a couple of pina coladas.
Nice.
A couple of margaritas. So we'll have some fun with my mixology this afternoon, and then we'll probably fire up the pizza oven and have some cocktails this evening. I think I got a little company coming myself a little bit later, and we got a couple bottles set up to enjoy. And next week, I'll be spending a couple of days at the Glenora Distillery.
Ah, fantastic.
Yeah, I got a little business down there next week, so I haven't been there for a while. And boy, you want to talk about getting close to Scotland in Nova Scotia, and that distillery and where it's set, man. I tell you, it's pretty darn near. You could the postcards you get from there, you'd think you were somewhere in the Highlands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're making me want to come over and join you. That's that job prospect sounding more attractive. If I get a hangout at the Oasis as well, that would be good.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, that's about the weekend here. It's I think the weather's supposed to hold real good, so I'll be outside for a little bit. But other than that, just kind of I don't know about you, but we were talking about in terms of in dentistry is dentistry fatigue, and we have COVID fatigue and compassion fatigue and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've gotten a little more protective of my weekends.
Yeah.
Where we need time for ourselves to recharge a bit. And I'm very fortunate enough that I have the opportunity to kind of get away from work on the weekends, unless I'm on call, of course, and kind of recharge that and surround yourself with good vibes, good drams, good surroundings, good people. And that's what the weekends have become now is where could we kind of recharge our emotions and stuff. And it certainly makes Mondays a lot easier.
Yeah.
For us, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
And it's a great sentiment. I think it has been and continues to be stressful times. I mean, it's kind of strange here in Scotland. Things are really bad with infection rates, but everything's starting to kind of open up again. So this weekend there's a big music festival happening in Glasgow with thousands of people attending.
Yeah.
Sporting events are back. They're talking about having a vaccine passport that you need to get into big events.
Yeah.
But people are generally, obviously people have been fed up with being in lockdown and they're wanting their lives back.
Yeah.
But I heard somebody was telling me recently, just now the figures in Greater Glasgow are something like 1 in 75, which is pretty bad. I think Glasgow just now is one of the worst in Europe.
Wow. Okay. So what's your vaccination rates?
It's pretty high, I think, for the over 18s. I think it is pretty high, but it seems to be lots of people are getting it just now. Obviously, the risk of contracting it seems to be higher if you're unvaccinated, and certainly the effects seem less if you've had your vaccine. But that's a bit hit or miss as well. There's people that are that have had both vaccines and have said, holy crap, I'm glad I've had both vaccines because this has knocked me for six.
Ooh, well, so we're looking at some of the numbers over here, and I think hospitalization is under 1.5% for people who had double vaccinations, and I don't know what the mortality rate is, but it obviously is going to be quite low for the vaccinated.
Yeah.
We're kind of running it, not to get political here, but we're running into some problems, some issues with people not understanding the idea of the vaccination, right? Because people say, I'm not going to get vaccinated. I don't want that stuff in my veins because I'm still going to get sick. Yeah, but you got to look at it from the other side of the thing. If you break a hip, if you got less people, dying of COVID because they got both vaccinations and just got the sniffles, you're going to get your hip fixed, right? And that's what's happening now. Is it's not just in dental clinics trying to get people in, but also, hospitals. The less that we're inundated with people in respiratory distress, the more we can get the hips done, the knees done, gallbladders out, and all these things, right?
Absolutely.
And that's the kind of thing that we're having. And of course, our provinces work at different phases than the rest of the other provinces or Canada. So we have a phase 5 coming in on Wednesday, which will, I think what it means in general, that you don't have to wear a mask anymore and people can get back to normal in terms of the number of people during gatherings and that. But dental offices and medical offices will have just little differences in what their protocols are. So we got a meeting tomorrow morning to try to deal with that. But you know what? It's when you start talking about this and you realize, this is where the fatigue comes from, right? And this is where we just say, just run over it and get it over with and go on our merry way. Yeah.
Well, that's it. And again, I had the conversation with Jeremy last week, and we were putting up in fact, I'll see if I can find it, the stuff for Confidential, which is the helpline for dentists that are needing any support. And one of the reasons why, and here's the telephone number as well. One of the reasons why I was keen to resurrect the conversation and the chat over a dram. Yes, it's about the whiskey and the love of the hobby and the pastime, but it's actually the connection thing. And I thought earlier on today, I've not spoken to Paul for ages. We've not had a chat, and it'd be nice just to sit down and have a chat. And if other people can share in that and enjoy a bit of banter between us over a dram, then that's a good thing,
Yeah.
So that's what it's about.
Connections, right? Connections and enjoying something that has a spirit but doesn't wreck it in the meantime.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Excellent. So my goal, my aim was to keep this to about half an hour. We're sitting at 29 minutes. So I think I should
for a Nova Scotian, man. And usually I can talk a hell of a lot worse than that.
What time is it there just now?
It's 3 o'clock.
Well, I got you drinking early. That's good.
Okay, so take up some of your time here. I've got, when I look around my room right now, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different bottle collections of things that I have to consult for.
Wow.
Which is, so I've got to do my reports and do my tastings, get my evaluations and all that stuff, which is absolutely so much fun, right? Because they're all blind. When the company send them to me, I do them blind so that I'm not, not skewed in any way, right?
Yeah.
but it's what's happened now is that, when Saturday comes, I might be cracking on to some samples at 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock. I try to do them at certain parts of the day because there's some research that suggests that, when you have a regular schedule at a certain time of day, then your senses are kind of attuned. But when you start getting a few more things come through, it's like, I'll get up and have some breakfast and get some exercise, play with the dog, go for a little, walk with Nancy, and says, "What are you doing now?" I'm gonna drink whiskey. But it's work. It's work. I get paid for it. So it's not that bad. And of course, we said before that there's some evidence to suggest that 10 o'clock in the morning is the best time to actually do tastings for food and drink. So haven't gotten that far yet. And I'm pretty sure if I'm halfway through a root canal, I say, I got 20 minutes to go drink something. I'll be back. Right. No, it's work. Honestly, it's for business, but I'll be back. Right.
Well. Yeah, it's going to improve the root canal, definitely.
You wonder, eh?
Certainly from the experiential point of view.
100%. Well, I can't wait to go over there. Like I said, it's been a while since I've been over, and Scotland's always felt like a second home. So, I'm planning to be over there at the end of July next year. I'm doing a 3-week tour. I'm doing a 1 week, possibly in Islay/Jura. And I got some people who want to have a walk through the area. So I'm going to set that up, I think. And then my wife and I, it's our 25th anniversary. And my son wants to be Scotland. It's going to be 16. So it's going to be 2 weeks of firing through the Highlands, probably go over to Ireland as well, maybe down through Wales. I'd love to see Wales. So, barring anything else, I'm definitely going to be there for a few weeks next year. And then the Highland Whiskey Academy is going to be starting up again. And I might have to go, when that happens, I'll be over to guest lecture there. So I'm really kind of hoping to get a couple trips over before, this time next year.
Excellent. That sounds good.
And you're welcome over anytime.
No, definitely. It's on my bucket list. I need to definitely.
I'm not going to promise I'm going to put you to work for a couple of hours, but
that's all right. If it involves drinking whiskey or anything to do with whiskey, that's
absolutely
done. All right, listen. You have a great day and a great weekend, and
you too, man.
We'll do this again soon. We'll catch up again soon.
Great chat. Cheers.
All right, Slanjavar. See you soon. Bye now.